All right. Good evening and welcome to our Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting for the month of October. Please note who we have in attendance. I think Mr. Harvey is the only one who is not here. All right, with that, we're just going to go right into the approval of minutes from
I
our.
will move to approve the minutes from last meeting.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from September. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Jerry to second. All right, do we have any additions, corrections, clarifications? All right, then we'll just go into approval then. Those who approve the minutes, please
Aye.
state by saying aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye, aye,
All right. Unanimous. All right. So this evening is just going to be a little different. We're going to do a complete work session for the wine festival for next year. So I'll go ahead and hand it over a little bit to Lorena, and we can start, I guess, piece by piece.
Sure. So I provided copies of the previous wine festivals, this year's wine festival's event cost sheet, and it's got estimates for 2022 over on the side. I've also given copies of the event layout for this year's this past one. So I'm just going to run through a couple of things real quick here, and then we can get into the discussion. A lot of these items on here, we will not need to purchase again. The highlighted items are those that I'm thinking that we're going to go with again. So it seemed to me that an advertisement or two, so budgeted 800 for that. Definitely need the extra porta pots and portable sinks, so budgeted for that. The ATMs we'll need. And then pony rides, petting zoo, the band, we've already got them penciled in for May 21st. We've got that price. And then, of course, all of the accoutrements, the stage rental, sanitizing stations, tables, chairs, bounce houses, things like that. Definitely need to get the liquor license. The ticket printing and the supply of water. Everything else, the wristbands we've already purchased, wine glasses, we still have a pretty good stock of, so I don't think we need to purchase any more of those. I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory. So with the budgeted figures in, and let's estimate with the 28, let's say 28 vendors or such, and $8,000 in ticket sales, a couple of sponsorships. That would bring us out to a net after the $5,000 budgeted funds go into it. We'll be on the positive side by about almost $1,300. So,
Hey.
yeah. So that's cutting, some things out. Again, extraneous things that we don't really need to order again this year or invest in. So I'm going to go over the vendor feedback that we received from this past year's. Most of the vendors liked the layout and how the craft vendors liked how the beverage vendors were on the perimeter so that people walking around could also see the craft vendors' goods, and they feel that they got more business that way. The ones who were assisted by volunteers loved that and requested that we continue to offer that in the future. And they appreciated the low vendor registration fees. I mean, we are minimal compared to some of the festivals out there. Up in the hundreds of dollars. So, suggestions from the vendors: possibly offer extension cords. I don't know if we could do that because hooking up to a power source out there, they'd be having a lot of extension cords around. Wi-Fi. I do like that idea, and we saw that at the Gettysburg Wine Festival where there was, a general Wi-Fi option. I don't know, I'd have to discuss that with our IT department to see if maybe that could just be offered for a window of time just for the festival. And another vendor suggestion from the craft vendors to not charge attendees to get in to do their shopping with them. So that's something to consider, maybe in the layout. So do you want me to go ahead and just read Emmanuel's email, his ideas?
Yeah,
that
just so
should
we
read
have
and
it
go
ahead
through?
of time,
Yeah.
and then we can, yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Sure. Okay, so his notes consider higher ticket prices, which we had thought about. Although the low ticket price was a big selling point for our attendees, I think we could consider increasing the price slightly in order to try and generate more revenue. This is a very good point. Push the pre-order tickets. Attendees with the pre-order tickets were able to enter the festivals at a much quicker rate, which reduced the wait time in the lines. And he suggests that the pre-order tickets be at a reduced rate compared to the day of ticket, which I think a lot of festivals do that as well. Look to partner with local businesses and organizations in an effort to promote pre-order tickets. Well, this is on a personal note. He said he would prefer a slightly larger glass compared to the one that we used this past year, but he definitely agrees that stemless is the way to go and always a great option for events when individuals may be sitting on the lawn. He suggests that we consider less musicians throughout the day to save some costs on the entertainment. And he also suggests to reduce the amount of children's activities that are offered for free. Maybe consider a children's area that can be accessed for a small price. The activities are great for families and children, but they do act as a net loss if they cost and are offered at no cost to attendees. Of course, look to secure more wineries and consider rebranding if there are fewer wineries than other beverage vendors. And consider a raffle to include items from vendors attending the event. I think that's about
All
it.
good
for
points.
Emmanuel's.
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So I think, and we can get back to some of those, but you've got copies of the layout that we went with this past year. Does anyone have any ideas or suggestions? Anything that maybe we need to or should change in the layout to facilitate a better festival experience?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So are all the highlighted items like you're definitely going with? Are they up for discussion or?
They're up for discussion, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just had a question about the ATMs.
Mhm.
We had talked about, it's a pretty significant cost to have that there. And I know the reason was for people to access cash, especially if you're only taking cash to come in. But I was thinking what if we looked into accepting credit and getting a square, because they're so much cheaper. Like you can get a square thing for $350,
Mm.
and then I ran if you want to have two terminals, it'd be $700. You probably lose about $300 in fees for the amount of money that was taken in. So you're only spend $1,000 as opposed to $2,000 for an ATM there. And then once you own the terminals, that's only it's not a yearly cost. So the only thing you'd be out yearly is just a little bit of fees, $300-400. As it grows, your fees will go up, but you'll be taking in more money. So that keeps and like you said, if you have the Wi-Fi there, then the vendors can have their own squares that they're running off of so we just don't need to make the cash so available for everybody. It's just a thought,
Right.
just to save some money on.
I can check into that. Yeah, again, the Wi-Fi, I'm definitely gonna have to just check with Dan and IT on that, because if everyone attending the festival and the vendors are using, I'm not sure if that's, how that would wreck the bandwidth and all that.
Well,
I
some of the
don't even
vendors
know.
will use their own.
They'll use their own
mobile
little,
phone.
yeah.
They
Mhm.
use their
Also, I'm
hotspots and stuff.
wondering if attendees need Wi-Fi.
Well, that's true, because
Just
most
vendors,
plans,
I would
right,
think, yeah.
yeah, maybe we offer it just to vendors, that
Right.
way it keeps, our traffic down.
Right.
Okay, well, I could definitely check on that, and check on the square. Okay. As far as the craft vendors, I mean, should we put them in a different area so that people can just access them? They don't have to get a ticket to get in to shop them?
Kind
You-
of like you did with the food trucks, where
Mm-hmm.
like people could come and just support the food truck
Well,
and
if
not.
you've got your
Right.
food trucks down that low, why can't
Mhm.
we use that open field, the practice field?
Use
for
the practice
football?
field for vendors, maybe, instead? I mean, it's,
I've never been to a festival where you could shop without paying to get in, I guess, is my question.
Right.
Like,
right,
Right, I mean, you get that at all the wine festivals.
Mhm.
That's the whole
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
of, I mean,
Showing
I
it,
know
yeah.
that probably residents are used to the option of, you can just walk in,
mm-hmm,
buy a bottle, walk
Right.
out, and not have that. So I guess we need to
Yeah.
change that experience.
mm-hmm, right.
But I think leaving it there, I know some people were upset about it, but
I mean, the reality of it is it's not a farmer's market. And
Mhm.
it's not
Right.
like, it's a different event. You know what I mean? Like, the point of the event is,
Right.
to bring
I've
people
never
paid
been,
event.
yeah, I've never been to a wine festival or a beer festival where you just walk in, I'm not saying I've
No,
never
I'm
been, but yeah, where, the craft vendors are outside. Yeah,
Right.
it's all part and
So-
parcel of the experience. You pay,
Right.
you buy your ticket, you go in, and then you get your tastings, whatever, and you can do some shopping too, whatever. The
Right.
band's there, it's all inclusive.
Right.
did we have a designated driver cost that was different this
We,
year?
we didn't,
Didn't.
no,
Okay.
yeah.
that's
So
what I
maybe
should-
that's something to consider, because then they would be paying a little less.
Right, we could do that.
Yeah.
usually with that DD cost depending, you would provide like waters for the designated driver instead
that.
of, yeah,
Mm-hmm,
so beverages, so they're not paying.
right.
We didn't have a
Unless
different rate for
it's-
just like,
Yeah, we just had the tastings, unlimited tastings, which was the 15, and then the no tastings, which was 10.
right,
Oh,
so it was
okay.
cheaper.
So it was cheaper.
So it was a little bit cheaper, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, they could just go in, right.
right. So, okay, so layout, we're gonna keep it the same. We're gonna keep the vendors, craft
Layout,
vendors
I
inside.
like it
Okay.
the way it was. I'm sure that,
Found out they changed their date.
Wine in the Woods is now 5/21 and 22? Oh, no.
Yeah, they had originally said that it was gonna be the 15th.
Oh,
where is that?
It's the big Howard County
yeah.
Wine Festival.
All right,
Huh,
well,
all right.
that's okay.
Well, that's okay. You know,
But if
that'll-
you're gonna
I
get
mean,
vendors, you
yeah.
should probably jump on
Oh,
them
yeah,
early,
definitely.
'cause a lot of them go there.
Mm-hmm,
And
yeah.
That was the one, that was the
Just
one
as
thing
long
they
as
were
we
saying.
don't have the competition, obviously, with Westminster, we're
Right.
trying to keep it
Right.
Carroll County based. So, yeah, but I get what you're saying about getting the wine vendors.
Yeah,
and-
for sure. Okay, so layout, we're pretty satisfied with how it was
I like
last year
it.
with this?
Now, did you have a different rate for, like, say, like the wine and beer vendor, those kind of vendors versus the craft vendors, or was it all the same price?
The beverage vendors were not charged. No, they came in for free. Yeah. And the craft vendors, they paid, I think it was $30 for a 10 by 10 and 50 for a 20 by 20. Yeah. Yep.
I do remember one of the wine vendors was saying that they were a little confused about, I guess some of the breweries were selling glasses.
Yeah, I
And they
don't-
were like, they weren't sure
Right,
if they
I-
were allowed to do that.
And,
or-
and that was maybe something that, I mean, a difference between staff on site and those with whom we were communicating beforehand, because
Mhm.
we were telling them all up front, bring your merchandise, you know, you can sell by the glasses, you know, sell
Okay.
whatever you want.
Right.
You know, you're not limited to just
Just
distributing
Okay,
tastings,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's a-
But in some cases, it didn't translate to staff on site, because they were like, oh, we didn't know.
Right.
And it's like,
Right.
okay. So,
So I guess we need to make like rules for, our vendors. What they can
Really
do,
emphasize
what they
that.
can't
Mhm.
do, so forth and so
yeah,
on.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so layout
They
is good.
have a written contract at all?
They,
Vendors?
they did fill out the
Okay.
vendor form, yes, yeah, which had,
Okay.
some information on there.
All right,
So
so
layout
we've
is
got,
good.
so the setup though, the event layout, everybody's pretty good with. I thought it looked good
Mhm,
as far as the layout.
right.
I thought when vendors came to set up, I think that went smooth as well.
Mhm,
That did really go very smooth, like going into the field, unpacking, and then going back out.
mhm.
So that went well. Now, somebody did mention, and I can't remember, that some of the feedback was that they wanted it more with, like, the craft vendors with the beverage vendors.
Oh, to mix them up?
To mix them up?
Mhm.
Is that what we had discussed before?
I think someone, yeah. I think
Okay.
that would be-
It had been that way a couple of times,
Mhm,
where the beverage vendors would be spaced out,
mhm.
and in the spaces between was a
Right.
craft person.
Mhm. It's
And
funny
then
because
there
you
were
can
different,
get both.
and there were different other vendors who took up the center space.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
One of whom, I, their product I loved, but I haven't seen them or been able to find them for a while.
Are you talking about the sauces?
The
sauce?
sauces, yeah,
Yeah, can't find
They
them.
were-
None of it,
absolutely.
yeah.
The first year they weren't there, I was disappointed,
Oh.
sorely disappointed.
Yeah. It's funny
But I
because,
mean,
yeah,
the
some.
different kinds of, I would say, other than craft and beverage,
Mhm.
if there were different other kind of vendors in the, other than the food trucks are providing meals,
Mhm.
a bakery, home bakery, whatever,
Right,
somebody with bread, somebody with something else.
yeah. Yeah, we were welcoming all types, yeah. And we
Yeah.
did have some of those there. Yeah, we did have some, yeah. We were supposed to have a coffee vendor, but they had to cancel at the last minute
Yeah,
because of staffing.
that'd have
so,
been another good
yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because, hear different viewpoints. Put the different vendors, different types of vendors together in groups, or spread them all out. Some people don't mind the walking. Some people just don't want to walk. If they want to hit the wineries, they just want to go straight to the wineries and, whatever may be the case. So
Well,
I don't think we're going to get 100%
Yeah.
win, no matter which way we go.
yeah,
So,
in any case, you're not gonna get everybody
right.
to fall in.
Yeah.
But the beverage vendors were around the edges, and they went from one end of the field to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So if you mix and mingle,
Mm-hmm.
it may give the craft vendors a little more visibility,
Mm-hmm.
rather than people going, across the field from one to another.
Right. I think this coming year, I think we need to probably have a bigger space in the middle for the band. Just because if we're gonna go with Dean Crawford and the Dunn's River Band, which, we penciled them in, they penciled us in. They've got a huge following.
They have a huge
I've been
following.
to a couple of carnivals, and
And their
oh my
people-
gosh,
and
there
their-
were hundreds of people there to see
And their
them.
people are willing to pay
Mhm.
the non-sampling fee
Right.
to come in to
Just
watch
get
them.
in, yeah.
So
So-
that's,
And the football field is big enough, I think we've got plenty of room to kind of divide that in the middle there.
Oh, we have plenty.
I
of
was,
room.
I was,
Yeah, plenty
I
of room.
thought, since the scoreboard is electrified,
Mhm.
could you move the band to the end?
Can't tap into that.
can't
Can't
tap into.
that scoreboard. Yep, thought about that before. Yeah, it's
Ah, well.
unfortunate. I know.
It's still a nice, like, centerpiece, though,
Mhm.
of right there in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yes.
I kind of like it the way it was. I
The-
think it did
The
pretty
band's
good.
been in that spot forever, as far as
Yeah.
I can
Mm,
remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anytime there's a band, that's where they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll stick with that then.
I would like to see the, one thing I would like to see as far as prices, we were talking about prices.
Mhm.
Maybe have a military first responder price.
Yes. Let's get into that. That's the
Okay.
next thing. So,
Sorry.
no,
I
you're
jumped.
fine. Admission tickets. So, we also talked about maybe having a VIP hour from 11 to 12. So those tickets at a higher price, but we also need to have some more incentive with that, not just for the, early bird, get in first and get your
Provide 'em a-
game on, right? Earlier
Yeah,
at
a little
11, right?
A
So,
basket lunch or something.
well, I don't know, or I had looked at, of course, we've got our little Parks and Rec drawstring bags, but I had also looked at, little bottle openers, corkscrew things. And we could even have those imprinted with, Taneytown, City of Taneytown, or Taneytown Parks and Rec, or whatever. We can get like 250 of those for about 400. We could put that in the bag. Also, I'm hoping that Misha's gonna do that Main Street money again this year. So that would be nice to have that little coupon, to
Yeah.
redeem around,
That
at
was-
businesses around town. Yeah.
When people were coming in and I was handing out the glasses
Mhm.
and had those in it, people look, what is this?
Yeah,
And I explained it to them. They said, oh my God, that's
Yeah.
great.
yeah.
So
So
there
we
was a lot
definitely
of good
wanna-
feedback on
Mhm.
that.
We definitely
Now,
wanna
I
do
don't know how
that.
many ever got used,
I don't
but the
know.
people who got
Well, I
them,
hope they did.
the
Yeah.
people who
Yeah.
got them seemed to be
Right.
excited about it.
So I think that, we could go with something like that. Does anybody have any other ideas? What would make you want to buy that VIP ticket for the higher amount?
Okay, so I went to the Carroll County, or the Wine Fest, and so we paid extra for our VIP ticket, and we got a full-size glass,
It's
Okay.
a different glass.
stemmed,
Okay,
but huge, like a regular
Yeah, like
glass.
a regular wine glass.
okay.
Yeah, huge. And you got like fancy bathrooms.
Fancy bathrooms.
Fancy
They're like a
bathrooms.
trailer instead of a
Yeah,
porta
it was a
pot.
trip, but I mean, it was nice.
Yes.
It was clean, it
And
was
different
nice, it was.
wines.
And special
Like-
wines, like you would ask each winery to bring their specialty
Right.
Okay,
wines.
okay.
So
Gotcha.
what their top wines are, so that would be an incentive.
Okay. So we could ask if we, do that, a VIP hour, then we ask the wineries or
To bring
beverage
their
vendors.
specialty.
Right, we're doing a VIP, can you bring
It
your
would be
top
only
grade
their
stuff?
specialty wines.
Right, just for
you
that
would have.
hour. Okay.
Actually, you had,
The bathrooms worth the price. The bathrooms worth
The
the price.
bathrooms were, I'm telling you, it was fancy.
It is.
I'm telling, I was like, wow, you could fit 4 people in them. No, literally, I mean, it was huge,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it was very nice, and they just had it roped off. It wasn't
Mhm.
like, they didn't need like security people
Right.
or anybody scooping down or, trying
Yeah.
to get into the area, but it was, oh, and extra tables and chairs just for them to,
Right. Hmm.
so that was nice in itself.
Should we charge for coolers or pop-up tents? And if so, do we throw those in on the VIP?
Not with the VIP.
Okay,
Not with the VIP, because that was just basically at the Carroll County Wine Fest. They already had their own little tent set up
okay,
with just seating. So you could sit there, they had, the round tables, you could stand.
right.
So no, but I mean, just like Gettysburg did, Gettysburg, they sold tickets for pop-up tents just for the general public. They had so
Right.
many, and then that was it. So there was an area for that, but not for the coolers.
Okay,
The coolers just should be inspected to make sure there's no
Okay, so-
outside
okay.
alcohol
gotcha. Coming in,
for real coming in.
okay. All right, so because we didn't allow pop-up tents at all. this past year. So should we allow them? If we do we charge for them? And where are they gonna go,
That's what I was
really?
gonna ask you, is where do you have the room?
Right. Because we're gonna have that big, wide, open space in the middle for the band audience. I don't know if we should have
I'm not sure
pop-up
that you have the
tents.
space.
Yeah. And we're already providing tents, large tents with tables
Yeah.
and chairs and everything.
Right.
So I kind of feel, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, could you move one of those tented, like that we had put up,
Mhm.
over to the middle, like far back from the band for the VIPs so that they would have a covered area, they could listen to the band, that would be centralized? You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
in the back
Mhm.
middle.
Right,
by
instead
the
of putting
seating
beverage vendors
area.
there, we
Yeah.
could scoot them
Well,
out.
and that's it. I
and
mean,
putting a
there was
tent
an
there.
awful lot of space between the vendors and the,
Mm-hmm, oh, yeah,
I mean, you know, the craft
Yeah.
vendors and stuff, so,
yeah,
you know, even if it wasn't all the way back, but it would be a VIP incentive. Like, then they would have the tables, they
Mhm.
would have the tent, they would be in an ideal position.
right, okay. Okay, so we've got a bag, we've got the little corkscrew bottle opener. Is that okay? Do you guys like that idea?
like that
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, the Main Street money, the access to the VIP tent, the glasses, I don't know. Now, we do still have some, not that many, but some of the stemmed glasses that we were giving out last year. Do we give those out, or I mean, I would hate to invest in regular size stemmed wine glasses, or even regular size stemless, because that's, where's that? What
That
does
stuff's
cost?
pricey.
Yeah,
It
that
does
was
get
like
pricey.
$3,000 for it. Now, that was quite a bit of the supply, but, we're talking probably
mean-
$1,000 then, maybe.
So would you be upset if you paid a VIP price and got the regular? That's the question. I'm just asking, because I don't know.
Are you,
I mean,
I
you're
guess,
still getting the small pours, so even with that VIP.
yeah. Are you leaning towards limiting samples or leaving it as is?
Well, that's another,
Because I think that's another
Question.
thing you have to consider with the VIP.
Mhm.
Like, even in that VIP tent at the Carroll County Wine Fest,
Mhm.
some of those, like, reserve wines still cost you
Mm.
$1 to taste, even though you're, like, in that tent. You know what I mean? So I think you have to
Right.
think about, like, are your VIPs really going to get more because there you do?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you solely opening early? You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
I guess it depends on whether you're limiting samples or not limiting samples. I don't know.
If you got the big glasses, is there any reason why you couldn't also sell those glasses? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
if you have them, and then with the extras, you could always sell them to
Find
people.
Mm-hmm. We
I don't know.
could, that's an option.
I mean, with that increased price, we could still be able to
And
buy
get some money back.
Mhm.
regular
But, yeah.
glasses.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I don't know, yeah, I don't know how many you would have to have.
Mhm. Yeah.
What are you looking at for an increased price?
Yeah, that's the other question.
That's what we're
I
here
think that,
for.
well, I
yeah.
think that for $15
Mhm.
to get in and have unlimited samples, that's like
Cheap.
Oh, yeah.
really
Oh, that's
cheap.
super cheap, yeah. I
Well,
think-
that's the thing. So I'm wondering then, now that we're thinking about that, maybe the VIP could have during that hour unlimited and get the brewery and distilleries in
Right.
there with their specialties.
Mhm.
But then for our wine fest, we limit the brewery and the distillery pours and not make them unlimited
Mhm.
for the regular price. See what I'm saying?
How do we monitor that, though? I mean, do we give punch cards, I mean, for the breweries and distilleries?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, that was the question I had, yeah.
Yes, unless,
That's
I
what-
mean, you could
That's what
get,
Carroll County used to do.
Yeah.
what did they do?
They had
unless you
those,
go
like,
back to
tear-off
the
tickets
original,
Yeah.
that you, like, used all of your.
you got a strip of tickets
Mhm.
for your admission fee. And every time you got
Right.
a taste,
Right.
You had to give the
I think
vendor your
right,
ticket.
Taneytown did that specifically for their wineries, and I didn't care for that part. But if you're bringing in breweries and distilleries, then you could use those tear-off tickets for those tastings. And then maybe they could come back to the table and buy more if they wanted to get more tastings.
But your breweries and distilleries might not like
But
that.
back
Right.
in,
They may not like that, right?
well, back,
But you
the
don't
first
wanna,
one I
you don't wanna clean them out of product either, right?
went to where they had tickets.
Because
And a lot of the wineries that were there, because I think there was only one, there was one brewery, I think Johansson's came up. If you wanted, if you had gone and tasted and you still had tickets left and you wanted a glass of one, it would be 2 or 3 tickets and they'd
Okay.
fill your glass.
Kind of like a carnival. I mean, sort
Yeah,
of, you know, this
basically.
ride takes 2 tickets, yeah.
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 So, I mean, you know, if you wanted to go back to using tickets for samples, you could do that. And if, like, if you went to one of the breweries and you wanted a 12-ounce glass, it cost you 3 tickets.
I think too, a couple of the vendors were, like, I know Brewery Fire, I don't know what happened with them. They were apparently doing full pours. They were filling up that tasting glass instead of tasting sizes or pours, you know, instead of just like 1 ounce, they were just, whoo, you know, so they weren't selling anything because people were getting full pours,
Yeah.
you know. So I think part of that is incumbent upon the vendor to just pour a tasting size, you know, and if people really like it, then they purchase, you know, a full pour. So I'm not quite sure what the easiest solution would be for, to limit the tastings.
I just think that if you're not gonna limit them, you need to raise your price.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, double your price.
So,
I mean, think about what you pay to get into the Westminster one.
I know, I know,
And
I do.
you still are, like, the food trucks there are inside the,
Yeah, you still
You
had
still
to
are
buy,
paying for
right, you still
food,
had to buy
not
food,
included.
you still had to, yeah. Still had to get waters or, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
okay, so what do you think is a reasonable price for standard entry?
$25. $30.
25?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I mean,
25, 30.
So let's say, well, do you want to do, maybe this year we up it to 25, 20 in advance? If you purchase in advance, it's 20, and then 25 at the gate?
20's so cheap.
It is, but the only problem I think would be is it depends on the amount. Because if you go up there and you only like one wine, you've spent $20 and you're drinking one wine. Do you know what I mean? It would be different if we had as many vendors as some of the other places. But like that was one of the things I heard was, well, I don't drink beer, I don't drink liquor, I drink wine, and there was
Yeah.
only those few. And they're like, well, I only like one
So I
or
think
two.
that was probably on the basis too, that last year was in the middle of COVID and trying to get somebody to say they were a definite go,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to get them to
difficult,
commit.
beyond difficult to acquire.
Yeah.
I think we can probably get more this year.
Yeah.
Because things are getting back to normal. So if we had more of a variety, then it would be worth
Definitely,
doing that.
yeah.
But a lot of that's still up in the air. Yeah.
So that's fine. Just increase it to 25
25
and in advance.
20 in advance, you think?
I mean, I feel like,
If you really
yeah,
want to push the pre-sale.
yeah, if people want to get in there for cheap, they'll buy their ticket ahead of time.
Yeah.
I think
And-
that's an incentive.
Yeah, and we definitely should reach out. Taneytown Liquors did as much as they could to sell, but, you know, we could also hit up, you know, a couple of other places
So this
to
is
see if
just
they
the
would
regular
partner.
entry fee. This is not the
Mhm.
VIP.
No, this is just regular.
Regular entry.
25 standard and 20 in advance. So with that being said, what would we do for the non-drinking or designated driver?
Probably leave that at 10.
Leave that
I
at
think that's
10?
That way, that way it's
10.
significantly cheaper. and it's
Okay.
Not any less than what what you did last time.
Yeah, okay. All right, and then the VIP ticket, what would would be reasonable for that?
I would go with 35.
At
35?
least,
That's about right, isn't it? What do
I
you
feel
think?
like,
Or
well,
do you
I
wanna
feel
go
like,
40?
I don't know, are you giving them a glass or you're not giving them a glass?
Right.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we can't give them more than like $10 worth of stuff and then only charge them.
Right, exactly, right, yeah. Yeah, then we're
You've
losing the
spent
money.
money on the drawstring bags, you're gonna spend money on the corkscrews,
Mm-hmm,
you're gonna have those wineries bringing probably like reserved wines.
right.
And I don't even know if the wineries charge for bringing
Right.
we gotta check on that too.
Mm-hmm, okay.
I'm unsure.
And then they've got the reserved table and tent.
Right.
Sorry, reserved area.
I mean, if you're giving them a glass, I feel like you could charge 40.
Mhm.
I don't think that's unrealistic.
And if we don't give them a special class or a full-size class,
35.
35, I
35,
think,
yeah.
35? Okay,
35 to 40.
okay,
Because that's for are we doing a VIP hour?
yes.
Right. So that's
Okay.
the other thing, they get that time in either alone or, limited
Right.
crowd and
Yeah.
So then it won't
First
matter how big
dibs
their
on the
glass is. They can
stands.
keep
Exactly,
all of them.
seating. Yeah,
Right.
if
So
they
we
brought
should
their own
consider the
chairs.
glass, though.
Yeah.
I think that's a selling point.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I know that sounds silly.
Well, I can
But
check
like
the
a
pricing.
wine drinker
Yeah,
doesn't want that little glass
yeah.
in real life. You know what I mean? Like it's a nice like,
It's a shot glass when you take it home.
right, it's a nice like perk, but like if you're
Yeah.
gonna use the
Mm.
glass, if you're gonna pay the
I
VIP
wanna-
fee,
yeah.
you want like
Yeah.
a wine glass.
Well,
And it
the
wasn't even-
standard, the
yeah.
standard glass we're using, I think, is a 4 ounce.
Mhm.
If you go to a 6, which is the next step up for your VIPs, that gives him a bigger snort for
Yeah.
Mhm.
for their buck.
Yeah,
And it's a completely distinctive glass, so the wine vendors know, oh, this is a VIP
VIP,
person,
that's true.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. And even at the Maryland Wine Fest, those glasses, they weren't stenciled. It had nothing on it. It was just a plain old glass.
Just a plain glass?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
The one I
Oh,
got
you know
was
what? I
actually
think-
had like 3-year date on it.
Yes,
They were
It's
they,
just
using
a
old
they,
glass.
I
regular
think they had a
glass.
problem with
Yeah,
supply,
they couldn't get in
and
there.
they were bringing out all their old glasses.
Usually they do
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
It didn't
Maryland
say
Wine
it.
Fest.
It was just plain old glass.
But mine was just like from 2018
Mhm.
or 2019. When
Yeah.
They didn't have it, so they had all the extra
Right.
glasses.
But I'm
Yeah.
really good without having any kind of, because I can use it anytime now.
Yeah, I mean, what
Yeah.
if
I
you
got
Oh,
two
yeah.
of them. Yeah.
what if you put no date on it?
Oh, no, we weren't gonna put any
No
date.
dates.
Yeah, we just had the Taneytown
Yeah.
logo and the, Taneytown spelled out on it. So do we want that imprint on the full-size VIP glasses?
Then you
Because
can use
obviously
it
that's gonna
forever.
affect the price.
Yeah, but you can use them later.
Yeah,
use them
I
next
feel like
year,
you could always
the
reuse
year.
them.
Yeah,
That's the thing,
Mm.
if they're not dated,
Like,
Yeah.
they're
Right.
not dated.
Okay, and are we talking, stemmed or stemless?
Are we talking VIP?
Yeah, the VIP, the full
Stem.
size. Stem, okay.
Because the question would be, what's the difference in price between the standard one and that one? Because like we're saying, if we're gonna charge 40, which would be another $5, like as long as like the cost difference, like
Right.
not the actual cost of that glass, but the difference, because they would get the other one anyway.
Right.
So it's like what the upcharge would be for the bigger glass, like
Right.
as long as it's less than the extra $5 you're charging, then
Mm-hmm. And do we throw a lanyard in there too, if they're getting the glass? Do we give them a
like
little?
hold it in?
Yeah, Or do we not?
No, they can bring their own.
Okay.
I think you need to find a lanyard vendor.
I was just gonna
Yes.
say,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
gonna
Oh, yeah.
take away business from a vendor.
Yeah, there's people
who
that are
makes
like,
the- Oh,
that's
yeah,
their thing.
yeah, okay. All right, I'll check on that. That'll check on the square and check on the pricing on full-size stemmed wine glasses. So 35 if we don't go with the glass, and then, well, depending on the pricing on the glasses, but 40 definitely if we include the glass. Okay. Now, that would give them, does that get them in then at 11 then for the whole festival, right?
Oh, yeah.
It just gives them a head start. Okay.
Just gives them an hour head start to
Yeah.
Gotcha.
sample.
'Cause the
Okay.
glass would be different than everybody else's,
Mhm.
I mean,
so they'd be easily recognized by
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
vendors.
Okay. Um, Discounts then for veterans, local businesses, first responders. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
I
And
say
what kind of
yes.
discount?
Doesn't have to be huge.
And would you do like,
$1, $2. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It's just to acknowledge, like,
Mm.
So what would be the price?
so would you take like a flat fee off any of the prices? Like if you did $2, would it, like if they wanted VIP, it'd be $38. If they wanted
Mm.
if it was a pre-ticket, it'd be $18. You know what I mean? Like would it just
Mhm.
be a standard,
Right.
if they're there just to drive, it would only be $8. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true. Oh, circling back to the VIP, is that a flat fee or are we given a discount for pre-purchase?
I feel like it's flat. People
Okay.
who really want that are
Mhm.
gonna pay it.
Okay, regardless of whether they
Yeah.
get it here at City Hall, Taneytown Liquors, or at the gate the day of.
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like people who really want
Okay.
it.
So we're saying VIP hour, but is
Mhm.
that going to actually be the case? Are we shutting it down after that hour, that area? Or are we letting that go for the whole entire wine fest?
Well, that's true. I mean, we don't have to call it a VIP hour. We could just say, VIPs
Just
get in
VIP
at
entry.
11.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
early
Just
admission.
VIP entry.
Yeah, VIP
So we
ticket
would need
gets
another-
you early entry at 11 and all of these other
Another
things. Yeah.
wristband color for that.
You're just gonna
So-
have to fend off the people that are getting there at 11:40, 11:45, like that aren't, like that
Yeah.
are gonna try to come through the
Yes.
line, like,
Like they all did.
Mhm.
yeah.
Right,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
people are gonna get there early, and like, they're gonna see people in, they're gonna,
Yeah.
they're gonna wanna
Well,
try
then do we advertise it as 12 to 4? And then a VIP ticket gets you in at 11. So that way, the people who don't want to get that VIP ticket, but want to get there at the beginning of the festival, don't arrive at 11 and like, oh, well, why can't I get
I
in
mean,
there? Yeah.
even with whatever time we started before, they
Mhm.
were there
And
an
they're
hour and
gonna
a
be.
half early.
I mean, they're gonna be. At the
They're
Westminster
gonna be
Wine
there.
Fest, they wind all the way through the parking lot. Like, they're gonna be there with their cooler waiting to get in.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I feel like no matter what you say,
Yeah.
you just have to
that's
have a
true.
separate like VIP line where they
Mhm.
can just go in.
Right.
Right.
And it'll be a different ticket or whatever they're showing, so.
Mhm. How did everybody like the way that the lines were set up, the ticket lines set up before? So we had prepaid, and then we had basically the rest of them going through.
General.
Right.
Yeah, I would say like if you decide to go to like the square or whatever, if you do that,
Mm.
like have your like two, so you have your two like credit lines,
Mhm.
and then I would combine at that point like the pre-sale and like the cash line, because
Mhm.
like the pre-sale line wasn't very busy. Like that's
No.
the one that I worked in.
Yeah.
Like it was like one person would
Yeah,
come
because there's
through,
no transaction. They're coming in with their ticket and
right, and then you're like,
stubs tearing off,
and then
get
you're
the
like waiting.
bracelet on.
Yeah, so like I think you could combine it. Um, that way you don't have to have like four
Right.
rows of people working or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
or you just don't do a cash line and you do your VIP or your the early purchase line, and
Mhm.
then it would be cash and credit at the other two lines. Like if you wanted, if you did it that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. Let's go back to discounts for veterans, first responders, local businesses. What do we decide on that? Do we want to go up
We
as
didn't.
high as $5?
I'd just say 10%. whatever, it's, you get a $30 admission, it's 10% off, so you get it for 27.
It's up to you, I'm looking for
It
feedback.
works
What do you think?
unless if you don't wanna deal with
I
change.
mean, it's,
Yeah.
Like, it works for the $10 price, the $20 price, the $40 price, but the $35 price, like, are you gonna do
Yeah.
change? You know, you have to deal with change.
Right.
I guess if you get the glasses and you don't go the $35, that's not a price then. It would just be the 40, so then it would work.
Well, that's just it. I mean, do we make it easy, just $2 off, $5 off? I mean,
We could do it straight $2 off. I don't have a problem with that. Or do you feel comfortable with that or no?
Who are we offering this discount to?
so this would be veterans and active military, of course, and first responders feel we should do that, and then local businesses. So that they would need to show their business card.
Well, I think local businesses was just $1 off ahead of time. I do believe.
I think so.
But we would
yeah,
have to talk to,
Right.
yeah, Jay.
I think it might have been just $1 off.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Just $1
Yeah.
off for businesses.
Yeah.
So that would be another thing that we would have to consider too.
Mm-hmm.
I would think for businesses, if they did it ahead of time, pay ahead of time, the $2 fee would be good off. But if they come at the day of the event, they should pay the normal fee.
I feel like, yeah. Just gets so messy.
It does get messy.
Getting so
Yeah.
Because trying to, yeah.
Especially
what
if
do
you
you
want other people to sell your tickets. You know what I
Right.
mean? They don't want
Right.
to be like,
That's true.
there's so many rules.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest?
I don't know. I don't have an answer. I just feel like it's messy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It can get tricky, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't offer those discounts for,
Like only
I see
offer
where
those.
you're getting at. Yeah, at the time of.
The day of.
The day of. But then again, if we're getting yeah,
don't know.
I see where you're getting.
Yeah.
It does get messy.
Right.
Well, your pre-sales, you could sell at regular price and then just have like, they show their ID when they come in, their military ID, you just give them the $2 back the day of, like, and it's less, like you said, then you don't have to rely on all the people that are selling tickets at the businesses doing all these different amounts.
I don't know.
Yeah, that can get tricky too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with needing volunteers mostly at the entry points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm trying to remember, what do other festival coordinators do? Do you?
I don't remember them being any
I don't
kind of.
see things like that advertised for the
You know what we could
alcohol
do? How about
festivals.
this? Well,
What about if you
Extra.
show your ID? No, that's messy too.
Give them all cork.
I was gonna say you could give them
That's what I was
like.
thinking, like a full pour, but then you've gotta,
But you could give them a ticket for like a full pour.
but then
of-
you've gotta find out which
Yeah.
breweries they went to and like pay them. That gets messy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, how about we
Well,
don't
if you're
do any discounts, because it's actually kind of
Well,
cheap.
well, one of the things that you were, like Emmanuel had said about like doing a raffle or something like that, or maybe for your military first responders, like if you are doing raffles, maybe they get like some free raffle tickets to throw in, like, and then they're getting, because you would probably spend $1 or $2 buying raffle tickets, anyway. So if it's something that you offer, like a raffle, then they would just get a couple free ones to throw in, and that would be their, like, discount, basically.
Well, do we want to do a raffle? A couple of raffles?
Yeah, we could do a couple of raffles.
So typically, as a vendor, you are required to give something for a raffle and pay your vendor fee. Like you're required to give a product and pay for your
Right.
space. I don't know. I don't know. You probably wouldn't want to require the beverage vendors to do that, but
No. For the craft vendors.
whatever, you could say valued at?
I'd have to get raffle tickets printed out then. Unless I
Right,
use
that's another
the little,
cost. Yeah.
number, the little carnival tickets, So, and then that's another expense.
Carnival tickets. You can get them at the dollar store.
Oh, I know, yeah, but then, like I did at the
It's just
Easter
more
egg
stuff,
hunt,
right.
just like rip it in half here. You take that half of this little ticket, whatever,
Can you
with
get
the
the ones
number.
that are like
Double.
two, the
there's
two
some
tickets
bigger
hooked
ones.
together?
Mm,
Like, we just used them for a raffle, like, they're bigger and there's plenty of, you just get their, like, name and
mhm.
phone number, like, you don't have to, like, call the number out at the
Yeah.
end.
Okay,
And then
gotcha.
they don't have to stay.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
then
true.
they don't even have to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so part
And,
of,
a good thing about that is you can tell the craft vendors, like, include your business card with your donation so that
mhm,
whoever wins the raffle basket has your info.
gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was something I was gonna bring up too, just along raffles and fundraising, like, do you guys consider like selling shirts?
What do you mean? What kind of shirts?
That just say Taneytown Wine Fest, or?
Hmm. Well, again, then we're,
Right.
going to, production to get those out there. And then you've got to have somebody manning a table with,
Yeah, but it
the
can
different
be,
sizes
it
and
can be
such.
done, like when we do for the baseball tournaments, like we don't have like a whole bunch of shirts on site. Like you get it set up ahead of time with the shirt place and you put the link on your advertising. They go there ahead of time. They can even have the shirts before the festival even is. So like, and that's all direct ship to the people. Like there's not you handling them. Like, you have to hand out all the orders.
Right.
So it's just a link they go on, and then at the event, you can have like a QR code that they can scan, and you just have the shirt place leave it open for a couple weeks after the event. So like if they didn't see it ahead of time, and you didn't want to risk having a bunch of shirts on site, or you didn't have their size,
Mm-hmm.
they can still order them, up to a week or two after.
Hmm.
So like it's really a lot. It's not a lot of hands-on for us to have to do.
What's
Gotcha.
the setup charge to get it with the company? Like, to get the logo, you would have to pay out for the logo and,
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad. Like
Mm.
I gotta have to find out the exact price. We went to Wilsey's in Westminster when we did ours, but I didn't handle
right.
that side of it. Like, but I could find that out.
I think it's a good idea, and I still want you to find it, but I think creating a revenue of only 1,300 possibly for next year, I think we need a couple more years under our belt to have some more of that revenue that maybe we could,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Right.
The only
I
reason
mean,
saying
it's
it is
there,
for
the possibility's definitely
for
there.
an average weekend baseball tournament. I mean, you make $2,000 to $5,000 off of shirts. That's
Mm.
Right.
so I don't know what the wine. I don't know what
Right,
that would
see,
bring.
that's the difference. If my kid was playing a game, I would want to get him a shirt to say, you
Right.
played that game and you won, awesome. Now for a wine festival, I went, I drank, I need a shirt. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
we
I
usually
mean,
get the
I don't
glass.
usually buy the merchandise when I go. I'm just there for the product and then kindly leave.
Right.
Glass is my merchandise.
That's right. Yeah,
And the wine
exactly.
glass, yeah, and the
Right.
wine glass. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility because a lot of places are doing that. So that is definitely a thing that we can think of.
Well, I'll find
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you wouldn't
it's-
mind,
if
that'd be
it's-
great.
Yeah. And as far as vendors donating items for a raffle, I mean, they're bringing that with them day of, and then a volunteer obviously is
just-
then trying to organize,
Just have a human who like stuffs them in baskets.
Right.
However many you're gonna have, 3,
Right.
4, whatever.
Yeah, okay,
Depends on how many vendors you have.
right. So, do we then give a free raffle ticket then to active military veterans, first responders, local businesses? Give them a free raffle
I think that's
ticket?
reasonable.
What about VIPs? Do we toss in a free raffle ticket for them?
We don't lose
Why
anything
not?
by doing it.
Yeah,
Anything
Yeah.
extra, and it's an extra incentive.
Yeah, that's just an extra to
Okay.
possibly win. Yeah.
okay. Okay,
All right, so my next question is this. Do we charge food trucks?
yes, and that was,
Okay.
something that we had discussed. What was it, when we talked to, Uncle Mo at the Gettysburg Wine Festival? We asked him how much he paid for a spot, $400.
What?
Mm-hmm. And Dan Smith with It's All Good, he gave me the whole rundown at the Wine Fest of what tiers, food trucks pay and, or percentage of profits and, it doesn't matter, you don't really get a good spot if you pay more, whatever. It's just, he was, I think, suggesting, you need to probably charge something.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so what would be reasonable?
I would like to go low and then increase it every year based off the popularity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So you charge them like a vendor, charge them $30?
I would say 50. I'm gonna say 50 for a
You
food
think only
vendor.
50? You think 100? I mean, they did
They did
really
well?
well.
Did they tell you how well they did? Did anybody
I didn't get
know?
any numbers, but they were all like, "Oh, we did really well."
I mean,
Yeah.
if,
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe
I'm sure if we based it off Harvest Fest that we just had, those vendors were slammed,
Mhm.
slammed.
Mhm.
And it was constant.
Mhm.
So I would say anywhere from, I mean, is 100 unreasonable?
They're paying $400. I think was that
But we're just not as
okay?
big.
Oh, no, no, no. No. Yeah.
I don't want to jump it too much to where it becomes,
Mhm.
like.
Oh, yeah. We don't want to
But
dissuade
I mean,
anyone
once
from
we
coming to
bring
help.
a lot of people in,
Mhm.
we start every year and bring more and more.
Right.
We can bump it up some more.
Mhm.
I don't know. Who's with
Well,
50?
We asked 30 this time.
I think 30 is too low. I
I
think
think
that's way
30.
too
Well,
low.
I said, we asked 30 this time.
I think we should.
Next year, do 40.
I think
or
I
50.
think that's really still too low. I mean, yeah, I think if it's not gonna be 100, then 75. Why don't we do 75? Yeah, and they are
Uh,
making,
I think
a
I
couple
think there's-
thousands
I don't know
of
whether a big
dollars.
jump is going to hit,
Yeah.
is going to make some of the vendors
Oh,
a little hesitant.
Not the food.
No, the food vendors, the food
No,
vendors
not
are
food
raking
vendors,
it
not the
in.
food trucks.
Yeah,
No,
we're not
I'm just
about
talking
food.
about.
Oh, you're talking about food
vendors.
trucks.
Yeah, we're just talking about the food vendors right now.
Oh, we're not
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
that
not
to
the
the
regular
regular
vendors.
vendors.
Yeah.
No, no, we're just talking food, because all they're making
Yeah.
is.
They're
yeah,
making complete profit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're making complete profit.
I think, I mean,
Why not
if they're
charge-
bringing in $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for the
Let's
day.
just go,
Charge them 100.
with
and,
100.
like, you'll find out quick enough if you
Oh,
tell
yeah.
them it's going to be 100 and they're
Right.
like, oh, well, we won't
Oh,
be
forget
there
it then. Yeah.
You'll find, and other ones will be like, that's perfect. That's,
that's a,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a deal.
Oh, definitely. All right, so we'll go with 100 then for the food vendor fees. Now, nonprofit.
I knew you were gonna,
Yeah.
yep, I knew that
Mhm.
was gonna, because that was gonna be my next question.
Right. What do you wanna do?
Nonprofits, I guess you can.
Yeah. All right, so no charge on no, like, in other words, the Lions Club, they're a nonprofit organization. They're selling their food there to raise money for their,
For the community.
giving basically back to the community, yeah, okay. All right, now, regular vendors, the craft vendors and all of
Well,
that.
I would say, how
What
about
do you think?
this? How about, we make a deal on paper
Hmm?
that they can be there for the wine fest to sell if they provide food and drink for the fishing derby.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds-
That sounds like a fair deal.
I think that's a fair
Mhm.
deal.
You don't charge them a fee to either one. Their fee is the
Mhm.
free hot dog and
Right.
soda at the fishing
Yeah.
derby.
Right,
Otherwise, it's 50.
okay.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Is that
Because
mean?
it's a wine fest. It's
Right,
not
but-
Harvest Fest. Like,
right.
again, we come back to, like, this is a paid event.
And we understand that some of the, but that money also, at $50 isn't that bad. They can make that
Mhm.
with just a couple sales,
Right,
where they can donate back to us
Mhm.
for one of our events, which I think is completely fair.
right,
But
I agree.
okay. Alrighty, so then regular vendor fees, what do you think?
So what do you want the value of the raffle item to be?
That's a good question. That's true, because a vendor could just say, here's a pair of earrings,
Right.
you know?
No, I definitely think you have to specify.
Mm-hmm.
You- how many vendors are you talking, like, you have like 20 or 25 of them? Is that,
Well, at Harvest Fest, we had 28.
okay?
So, and Wine Fest, we had 21 paying vendors. We had a couple of nonprofits in there that we comped.
Do you send an invitation to all the vendors
Mhm.
that were? Because
Yeah.
I was talking to the lady next to me,
Yeah.
and she didn't know about the wine festival. So
Well, she must have been
I
anyone,
sent,
but yeah, I'm gonna be
yeah, but
hitting
I
them
said
up.
something to her,
Yeah.
and she sounded
Mhm.
interested.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that we.
Yep, any email address
Guys
that I
will be
got,
worth too
it's
for
all
you.
going
Okay,
out
good,
to.
good, good.
Yeah,
10 to
Yeah.
15?
Yeah, depending on how many baskets you want to make too, I guess.
right. So what do we
If you
think
make two
then?
baskets, if you have 20
Well,
vendors. and you
like
make
I said
two
before, for
baskets,
the regular vendors,
like
we
$100
asked 30 this year.
Well, we asked 30, it was 30 and 50. 30 for a 10 by 10, 50 for 20 by
20 by
20.
20.
So do we raise that to 40 for a 10 by 10? That's a $10 jump. And
75.
60 for a
How
20
did
by
they
20?
do? Do we know how the craft vendors did?
They all were very pleased.
Okay.
Yeah, they were pleased at Wine Fest. I know the ones at Harvest Fest they were pleased. Yeah, yeah, some of them did well. A couple of them not so much, just because
Well, it
maybe it was the
depends on-
product,
yeah.
yeah.
It depends on
Mhm.
what you're selling.
Right, yeah,
Obviously.
yeah.
People
Yeah,
are fickle.
Well,
You feel
I would
comfortable?
think that if we're gonna ask them
to donate
for a
something.
$10 raffle,
Mhm.
like I'm saying $10.
Minimum $10?
If you have like
Okay,
30 vendors at $10, it's a $300 prize that somebody's taking $1 chance on, so it's a pretty good prize. But but you're asking them to now give you another $10 on top of the 30 that they
Right.
paid last year, so maybe leave it
Okay.
So if they
alone.
donate,
Like, leave it this year, but their extra fee this year is gonna be the donated item.
The donation,
And then
okay.
next year you can.
Right, next
so
year
they
maybe.
could choose to, how about you could choose to donate, and this would be your price, or you don't, and this would be your price.
Well, maybe we just make,
Yeah.
it's $30
Yeah.
plus a well, see, some of the vendors, like Mr.
May not,
Gazelle
yeah.
Upholstery, what's he
Yeah.
gonna do? Here's a footstool I'm
Well, I can
donating.
give you a
but
gift
you
card.
can't
He
make it
could donate a
mandatory.
gift card. He could donate a $10 gift card.
Well,
or
that's
a-
true.
I
Yeah,
feel like everyone can donate something. Many of these festivals is required.
okay,
Bingos,
See, I didn't
when you're
know
a
that.
vendor at a bingo, they require you to
Yeah.
give a prize towards
They
their
do the
raffle.
door prizes.
Yeah.
okay. How much are we selling the raffle tickets for then? What?
Probably
Sorry.
like $1 a chance.
Yeah,
or
buck.
A
something.
dollar, buck
Yeah.
each?
Look, Steve.
Even if you have 30 vendors and you split those donations into 3 baskets, they're still winning a $100 prize.
Mm-hmm,
Right,
So,
Yeah.
for a dollar.
chance.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Okay. All right, so then we're gonna leave the vendor fees at 30 and 50. Is that
Okay.
correct? Okay,
I agree with that, yeah.
all right.
Or requesting a donation.
Yes,
For the
and they have to
gift
kick
basket,
in
raffle
minimum
basket.
$10 value, item or gift card. Okay. All righty. Any other ideas or suggestions? Let's see, let me go back to Emmanuel's.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on something that he had said, he was talking about like, the kids stuff.
Yes.
And that was
Mhm.
something that I had thought about too, is like, it's an adult event.
Right.
Like, do we need all this like
Mhm.
kid-friendly stuff and paying for it? Like,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
Like, I
mean,
look forward to maybe my
personally, like-
kids not there.
Right.
The wine fest.
right, personally, like, I know he had suggested if we do it to charge for it so that we make something off of it. Like,
Mhm.
personally, I would just do away with it completely. But that's just
Okay.
my opinion.
No, if we do that, then we're saving over $1,500.
I mean, because you do so much for the kids at the Harvest Fest and
Right.
all of those.
Independence Day, they
Easter
got that. I
and-
mean,
things.
I don't
I
think
mean,
those
it was,
ponies needed
right,
to
it
have
was
their
great for
horseshoes
the
done.
kids, but we're at
Whatever.
Memorial Park, so if kids need to be there, they
That's
they
true.
can run the
Yeah.
full scope of the park.
Okay, then. So,
Because you're talking about cutting down, that would be the
Yeah,
penny
that would
rides,
be a
penny
great-
zoo, bounce houses,
Mhm.
like all that stuff.
right.
So that jumps your 1,200 profit up another.
It does,
15.
yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, now we can afford those stem wine glasses. There we go. There we go.
There it was.
That's right. Mhm. Indeed, yeah. And you're right. I mean, it is more of an adult event, so, let's just keep it centralized and That gives
Right.
more room in the park if people.
Because we're
wanna-
gonna have that right for our July 4th or 3rd or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the
event,
discount day is.
Probably,
Yeah.
correct?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you have kids events at Harvest Fest.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
had those ponies
gosh,
there again.
a ton.
Like you do an Easter thing. I feel like we
Right.
Fishing
cater.
derbies for kids.
Yeah.
and-
I feel like we cater to them enough.
No, they had hay rides, face painting,
Right.
I don't know, pumpkin bowling.
true.
Blow
Yeah.
ups.
I mean, and if they bring their kids with them, then that's their choice, but I feel like you said, there
Yeah.
is a playground there, so.
Yes.
Mhm.
And still, even at Harvest Fest with all those kids' events, all that playground equipment, the playground equipment was being used.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
So it doesn't,
Okay, we'll scrap that then.
don't need it.
Yeah. Because, yeah, last year, or this past year, it was hard to tell if those parents or family members were actually coming into the Wine Fest part. Or they just, were there. I mean, they were just rotating on those, the bounce house, pony rides, petting zoo, bounce,
It was
back
free,
and
it
forth.
was free.
Right,
Yeah.
whoops. Yeah, exactly.
People don't come into your event,
They just
you're
got
essentially
free
losing money.
event.
Cause they got free, and they didn't even enter.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's true. Okay. So is there anything else that we can think of?
As much as my husband liked watching the dogs,
Yeah.
we're gonna reiterate to them not to bring their dogs.
So pets are allowed in the parks now.
But not in the football
But
field.
not on
On the
athletic
fields.
fields.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's just something we're gonna have to stick to, and I'm just gonna have to publicize it more. It's gonna have to be on the vendor forms, it's gonna need to be out there on the flyers, sorry, we love your pets too, but please leave them at home, they're not old enough to drink. Please don't let your dog drive drunk.
At
Yeah.
the Maryland
know.
Wine Fest, they were,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah,
don't bring
you
your
don't bring
dogs.
your dog there.
Yeah. The only exception is service dog.
Right.
But, So, but we'll just publicize that, get that word out there, because, a lot of people came along and they were like, oh, I didn't know. So.
Right.
It was fun to see them all at Harvest Fest.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that was out on the grassy area,
totally different area.
nowhere near, the athletic fields, so that was good, All right. Is there anything else anybody can think of?
Yep.
What's that?
My main gripe about everything we do around here,
What's that?
advertising.
Well, I know, that's why I'm leaving money
I see
in
here
for
that
advertising,
You advertised in Emmitsburg and Gettysburg, and
Mhm.
wherever,
Yeah.
and you paid, how about the Carroll County Times?
They are expensive, super expensive. These were deals compared to
Well,
what it would cost at
yeah.
the Carroll County Times.
But are you gonna, or is it the expense, worth possibly recouping more than that in additional attendance?
I mean, that's always a gamble. You never know. So.
Yeah, you never
I-
know, but I mean, if you want to draw people from Westminster and Hampstead and wherever,
Mhm.
you got to reach out to them.
Well, I'll check their prices again, but I mean, when I reached out to them about this past year's Wine Fest, it was $525 for one ad, an event ad. And I just said thanks, but no thanks. So that's why, went with, Gettysburg was cheaper, Emmitsburg News Journal was cheaper, obviously, so. But
And
I'll check, I'll
you've
give them
got
a
to,
call.
you've got to widen your area.
Mm-hmm,
I mean,
yeah. The other thing that I noticed with Harvest Fest too, and pushing it out there electronically, was getting out there on the festival event sites. festival.net and, you know, all that kind of stuff, using those sites to harness the advertising too. And that's helpful for vendors too, because they just plug in a date on these sites and then they get all of these, you know, opportunities, suggestions, so. But I'll check into it, Bill, but yeah, if their price is gonna be the same, I don't know.
Or, you know, or the Carol magazine, or that everybody in the county gets
Yeah,
in their mail.
I can check
I
into it.
mean, I'm not a fan of it anymore. Not with social media, and I know that you said, you know, but I just think it's a waste of money. Because not everybody's looking for those things. You're either reading the paper and putting it to the side or not really looking for events per se, but at $500 for an ad is just a little ridiculous, so
Well,
I'm not for it.
Yeah,
Well, they've been under some changes, so maybe.
they have, yeah,
See what
yeah.
they say.
Possibility, but, yeah.
Yeah,
That's something you gotta think about.
Yeah.
I mean,
Agreed.
you know, we have all these really great events that my friends in Sykesville and Westminster and Union Bridge, they haven't got a clue. I wish I'd have known about that. I'd
Yeah.
have come over.
mm-hmm,
Well, I don't know where you publicized for Harvest Fest, but we had a ton of people come out, a ton. I can't even imagine how many people we had, but
Yeah.
it was very well attended.
that was
very
great,
successful.
yeah.
Like, I've never seen so many people have that much fun. So,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
really, they all had a blast and had nothing but great compliments for Lorena, so.
Did you advertise that differently?
I pushed it out to a couple of festival sites.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
so
go
I
to
think
like
maybe
those
that made a
events
difference, yeah,
and there's gotta be
yeah.
event sites on Facebook everywhere for this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the other thing I just thought of, the ATMs, I mean, I feel like we still need, you know, maybe just one. Because I feel like three
I never
was
saw it like a
overkill.
line
No,
for the ATM.
there
the
were
whole time
two,
was
I
doing
think
the
there were
tickets.
two outside and then there was one inside. I didn't even see anybody, I mean, I was busy, but I think
Well, you
they
got-
did a transaction register or whatever on that, and that interior one, the inside one, was hardly used, so.
You got $90 back in fees, so how many
Yeah.
swipes was that?
Not many.
No. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
You know, the real deal is with Square, I know, like, you can buy the terminals. So I have a Square thing for my business,
Mhm.
and it just plugs into my phone.
Right.
I don't even have the, like, portal thing.
Yeah.
I
But
have
the
it at
thing-
my shop, but I have
Yeah.
what you're talking about too. Like when I go out on the road for deliveries, I
Yeah.
just pop it in my phone and.
Yeah.
And that was like, I mean,
Right.
essentially cost you nothing.
Yeah.
PayPal will give you a card reader too. You just have to have an account.
Right.
Like, the city would have to have an account for the money to go into,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, I'll check into that.
Okay.
But yeah. But that is another area where we can cut costs, I think, if we just have one ATM.
We don't need, yeah.
If we need any, it would just have one there. That'll
That
cut
would be
that
the
down
max. Yeah.
significantly.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Any other ideas, suggestions, comments?
I just wanted to see, have the glass station actually right where they pay instead of as soon as you walk in.
As soon as they walk in?
Because I saw people like, oh, I forgot my glass.
Mhm.
I'm gonna come
It
in
needs
and
to
get
be
another
outside.
one. It needs to be outside at the time that they pay.
Outside, okay.
Because they were doing it for a while, like, oh, I forgot, you know, I didn't get it, and there they go. Or, hey, can I pay you for a wine glass? It's just like, get a glass and move
Right.
along.
Okay. So do it then right outside that gate?
Right outside the gate, as soon as they pay, they get a
Okay.
glass.
Got it.
Or their wristband has to be Sharpied. Like, someone has to, like, Sharpie their wristband. And then if your wristband's Sharpied, you don't get another glass. Like, you already got yours. It's already
Okay.
been marked.
Yeah,
That's true.
Either way.
that works as well. I think Gettysburg gave them, what was it, a ticket? You had a ticket and then you had to go to the
Maryland one
tent. You
is.
had to give them the
Mm.
ticket to get your glass and then move along. Yeah. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I mean,
Whatever way
should
is
definitely mark
easier.
it somehow.
Yeah.
With a ticket or a mark or something.
Yeah. The mark works. That's
Okay.
easy to,
Yeah.
Oh,
that's easier to do.
okay, we'll do that then.
Also, too, I guess we have to have better communication with our wineries, breweries, distilleries, and get a full list of people that they're going to have with them that are
Yes.
helping them.
That's true.
Because I know some wineries, if you're pouring for them, one of their perks is you get in for free.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to talk with us
Right.
about what they get.
Right.
Because that would be probably another wristband of some sort, like, I helped, but I'm also,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. But I would like to have a list of people who are supposed to be, because otherwise, I mean, we got the same thing. You know, I'm Betty Lou and I'm here
Yeah.
with the band.
And that's how the Westminster one
Right,
is. You have
right.
to have your name on a
Yeah.
list to get in, like, it's a
Yeah.
separate entrance to get in for free.
Okay.
And as you know, I
Yeah.
tore down looking for Brooke, going, does Betty Lou belong with the band?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just, I was like, is it just another excuse to get in? Because I felt like it was getting a little too lax.
Yeah.
So I need to know from the band who's coming in with them, that is, you know, breweries, distilleries, and any of their staff,
Okay,
who's
so.
coming in,
And
who
then-
gets the,
And then the second thing is, do you limit that? Like, do they get 5 people?
Hmm.
Like, or if they, you know,
I don't know. I mean, if we're talking about, you know, the beverage vendors and the craft vendors.
did you say is it gonna be 12 to 4? Is that the time for the
Well,
fest?
For the regular, yeah.
Okay.
And then, regular,
I mean,
yeah, 11 and 11.
12 to 4,
11
I
to
mean,
4 is gonna be the
That's
total.
a normal shift at the Maryland Wine Fest, is a 4-hour shift
Yeah.
usually.
I also feel like a craft vendor shouldn't be getting more than 2 wristbands
Okay.
for free.
Should be
Right.
the
Yourself
person
and a helper.
and a helper.
Well, now, I mean, seriously, are we?
Not to get free, no, just to,
Oh.
you should have one just for helping, but we also have to talk to the wineries, because some of their perks is, if you pour for us,
Right.
you get free
You can
admission.
go around and do,
But
yeah,
they
your stuff.
forget that they need to talk with
Right.
us. I'm saying with craft vendors, they don't get to go in and
Mhm.
if they want to, then they can change out their band. What I'm
Mhm.
saying is everybody needs to have a band of some sort,
Okay.
whether you're helping or drinking,
Mhm.
everybody needs to have a band,
Mhm.
just so and a list of people.
So vendors must provide names of on-site staff and assistants. Do we only offer the beverage vendors the
But they're not
courtesy?
paying to get in.
Well,
They're
that's
not-
true.
No. I feel like if you're gonna do that, you have to give your craft vendors a free one too. The
Right.
beverage vendors aren't even paying.
Right, yeah, that's
all.
true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I didn't see, in this past year, those people were working. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't see anybody
they
leaving
definitely-
and going
Oh,
around.
no,
and, you know,
I don't
yeah,
think they were,
yeah.
but I'm saying that some of the perks of pouring for a winery,
Yeah.
if we get bigger,
Yeah,
some of those perks is, hey, we're gonna give you a discount on our products at the
Right.
end,
Yeah.
plus you get free entry.
Hmm.
Now, how that works out, I
Yeah.
don't know. But we need to have that communication line, is what I'm saying.
Mm.
I don't wanna get there on that day and it's very,
Yeah,
it's
right.
gray, and we
Mhm.
don't know what we
Right.
said or.
I do think you need to make a decision, either gonna do it or not, before the event,
Right,
so that they know.
That's all I'm throwing out.
okay.
now I had one question that popped up. Like, you said they don't get charged like to be there. So like, why is that? Like, all the other vendors are paying. Like, they're there like
Valid point.
selling
Right.
stuff. Like,
Well, that's true. I mean, I know that, Misfit Winery did very well. I think they had like $7,000 in sales. And, yeah, they didn't pay a
They were there
dime
for
to be
free.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I see. I don't go to a lot of wine festivals, so I don't know like the, what the etiquette is or whatever. But like, I mean, they are giving away. Like, they are giving out free stuff.
Mhm.
So like, is that what you're considering is like their fee, all the free
Right.
stuff they're giving out?
And that's what I
Pretty
put on
much, yeah.
the
Or-
registration form. They did not have to pay a fee in lieu of
Unlimited
giving the
for-
That makes
samples.
sense.
Right,
I do think that makes sense.
yeah.
Right, whereas your craft vendors are not giving away free stuff.
Yeah.
They
No.
want to the-
They're purely
Okay.
selling. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if that's the logic, I mean, then I get it.
Yeah.
I just was just wondering, I mean, if, like you said, you have somebody making $7,000, like you were talking about food trucks making thousands of dollars, like, why are they not kicking something back to be
Right.
there?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they kind of are, because
Right.
even though they made 7,000, they might have gave out a couple $100 worth of
Right.
free stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
We want 'em to come back.
Yeah, definitely. And again, it's all in the salesmanship too. If you've got somebody just standing there just pouring out samples, okay, maybe, then it's incumbent upon the customer to say, I'd like to buy a bottle of this, as opposed to, there are others that are more personable and they really push it and, what can I sell you? What would you like? Do you want to take a bottle of that home? Kind of thing or whatever.
mhm.
But,
Mhm.
so I don't know. I do not recall if Misfit had those charismatic people there, or if it was just their product that was so good.
So I know that they
Misfit
did,
sales?
because my mom and I spent a lot of time there.
Oh, did you? Okay.
They also were charging for they had a pour that they were charging for. It was
Yeah.
$1 a taste,
Right.
so,
Okay.
which is
Gotcha.
smart,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. Right. And that's the thing. I think we need to emphasize again to our vendors, please bring your merchandise.
Yeah.
Plan on selling as much as you can here. You're not just here just to pour out free tastings.
Mhm.
Right.
Do as much as
Because
you
really,
can.
in the end,
Mhm.
you're going to be all happy with alcohol. So
Right.
And
you
Misfits-
might spend more.
Misfits
so,
had a
yeah.
discount if you bought so many bottles too.
Nice. Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah,
Smart
it is.
salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smart selling tactics. Okay.
So we just need a list of people that are
Okay.
going to be.
I'll put that on the form then. Vendors
Because I don't
must
want
provide
random
names of
people
on-site
going, well, I'm
staff.
here helping so-and-so.
Mhm.
Well, how do I
Right.
even know?
Yeah. We'll do that. I think that they should know, 2 weeks prior to an event, who they're gonna have day of helping.
Correct.
Hopefully, they've lined that up before then.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 weeks prior to event. Do you have something, there's this out here.
No, that's not my puppy. That's outside.
The dog, yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Could we hire Don to watch dogs, speaking of
You
dogs?
probably could.
That'd
would
be
make
a
him
great
very
revenue
happy.
maker.
We could
Oh,
have a
yeah.
dog
There we
sitter.
go, that's right.
Pet sitter.
You have
yes.
your
And
dog.
I think he would do it
Mhm.
if you just let his wife drink for free.
There we go. Perfect.
That makes him happy too.
Yeah. Okay. Have we covered everything? I feel like we've covered pretty much everything. We've got time.
Do we have any extra comments, questions?
I do not.
You do not. Jerry, no? Bill? Any extra?
Nope.
Okay. And then when
I
can
wanna
we,
say.
when can we start getting out?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on the flyer and the vendor invitation. I'll update the vendor registration form with the things that we've discussed tonight. I'd like to get that done in the next couple of weeks and then start getting out there and soliciting, especially the beverage vendors.
Yeah, if you're competing
Yeah.
with Wine in the Woods, I would do it like
Mhm.
ASAP.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out there and get them signed up.
Yeah. I think we're always going to be with something.
Right.
But yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big one.
It is a big one. That's unfortunate.
But that's okay. I mean, it's fine.
Well, true, but the good thing, I guess, in that respect is Howard County, it's gonna pull the Sykesville people, it's
Mhm.
gonna pull, people down in that corridor. But at least it's not, as close as Westminster or, Thurmont or Gettysburg, something like that. I feel like we still have a pretty good.
Yeah, I think we can pull from Gettysburg, Frederick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
I
still
think
think we
we're
can.
in pretty good shape with that date.
Fast.
So look for that in the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna get that out to you. I think I'm pretty much gonna go with the same design as last year. I mean, it seemed kind of nice unless anybody had any changes on that.
No
You
changes
think it
on that
looks
for
good?
me.
Okay, yeah, we'll just update the dates and get it going. Get it out there galloping.
All right. So then before we end, All right, Jerry, did you have any updates or anything you wanted to add to the board while we were here?
I don't think so.
You're good? All right. Beth?
I'm good.
Bill?
New,
Anything to add?
newish business or?
No newish business? Yeah, you're good?
Well, no, I want to congratulate Lorena on the work she did with the, letting us know all about what's going on at Festival Park.
Mm.
Because I've been thinking about what needs to be done there in order to use it. And the destruction of the house was the first item on my list.
Yeah,
Did they do that already?
they haven't done that yet. We
And I
have to
was
get a
sad to
formal-
see that it was in such disrepair that the fire department couldn't even use it for an exercise.
Well, they apparently don't do that now because, especially on older houses, because of asbestos and lead and such.
idea.
Yeah, it's an environmental risk to them now. Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
I'm kind of trying to put together a list of the things that need to be done before it's usable. And some of it can be done pretty cheaply, some of it's not real difficult. Although I know there are site plans and all that have to be
Right.
done, but that's down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I think next time I'll have my list together and I'll bring that up. Just as
Right.
more of things to think, something else new to think about.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Like we need it.
Well, yeah, things to do is, of course, the 22 acres and
The Memorial Park,
Bollinger.
yeah.
Do we have an update on phase one?
On Bollinger?
Yeah,
On Bollinger, no, we are,
still waiting?
we are still waiting, I believe CDM Smith. They were going to be proceeding with conversations with the flood zone or floodplain expert at the county and discussing those boardwalk areas that cross over the two in the flood zone areas. And then we can proceed with submitting the plans to the county and then getting it through.
Okay.
So we should get official award notification from National Park Service and then through Maryland DNR. I believe National Park Service makes those awards official April 1st or thereabouts, the beginning of April. So once that has been made official and the funds are encumbered, then we can proceed. Yeah. So
Okay.
we can get moving on that. And the Memorial Park expansion, as you know, we're going to be meeting with TAA next month, starting that meeting at 6 to review all of that again. And then we're going to be reaching out to an engineering firm to start getting things drafted up
Okay.
so that we know what kind of costs we're looking at. And
Yeah.
all everything that's involved in developing that.
Yep, anybody who wants to donate money, please bring to Lorena. So we can get an update on our parks. All
Well,
right.
we're hoping that we can use some of the ARPA funding because
That's
I think it's been proven, especially during the pandemic, that parks are considered infrastructure. And in a lot of cities, they're a very important infrastructure. So, and I think we've demonstrated that we're making a difference here for our community. So,
Definitely. Yep, and if I didn't say it enough, Harvest Fest. Excellent. No, I'm so excited, just so excited to see so many compliments. People were so excited. Tons of families came out.
Yeah.
Lots of activities. I mean, somebody even posted online, like they spent 3 hours and like their kids had a blast. So
Right, yeah, it was great.
so
It was fun.
it's happening. It's
Yeah.
really happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of new faces, but they were very excited. So
And you were with me when that one lady said that her children, she wanted, they were thinking about moving, but her children would not let her move. They're
Yes.
staying.
yes,
So
they
that's
wanted to
awesome.
stay in town.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So I thought, wow,
Mhm.
so we're making a difference. It's exciting.
It
So thank
is.
you so much for planning that event. I mean, it did go very well, so
It was a lot of fun.
congratulations on that one. We are
Mhm.
making a difference one event at a time, so.
Yay. That's right.
All right, so, of course, we said, next month, we start at 6 with the Taneytown Athletic Association meeting, wrapping our minds again around the 22 acres, so.
And what's the
Yes.
date of that? November
10th.
10th?
Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say, let me get
Yeah.
my, yep.
Yep.
So November 10th, and then, I plan on, to have a rest in December, if we can.
Yes, I think that's a great plan. I think
Yes,
you and I
please.
will probably be busy.
I mean, there's, yeah, you'll be a tad bit
Yeah.
busy.
Right.
Right, so I think we need to have that, just to kind of relax and kind of enjoy the holiday season.
Yeah, we
'cause I
could
think
just meet up at the park.
we've
and
done
get
a
the
lot of
lights on.
work in the past year, and,
Yeah.
it's been a lot of work, and it's exciting, but, yeah, we need a break too.
I think that sounds great. It's fantastic.
Lorena needs it the most, yes.
All right, so Wednesday, November 10th at 6 o'clock,
Correct.
it's the Memorial Park expansion. And then we are going to discuss, right after that, the capital improvement
Okay.
project list. I still need to get you all my updated figures. To get that over to you, and then we can discuss that during that meeting.
Okay. So lots of planning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, well, get ready for another month of fun,
Mm.
so. All right. Anything else? Councilwoman, do you have anything from council?
I'm trying to think. I know, it's been such a long one. No,
Okay,
no updates, yeah, they're, as
Very good.
usual, thrilled with how things are going.
okay. And we do have a date for our Christmas tree lighting at the park?
Yes, December 4th, Saturday, December 4th. So that's going to kick off 3 or 3:30. I haven't decided yet because I'm going to do a candy cane hunt beforehand. And we're going to do the hay rides again.
That's a big hit.
Yeah, yep. With some lights on the wagon. I think that'd be
Betcha.
kind of neat. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Mhm.
she's on it, she's
Mhm.
on it. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yes.
would be great with like little figurines throughout or what, I
And
don't
some
know.
bells, we gotta throw
Oh,
some
yeah,
bells.
it's
yeah.
very exciting. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's going to be a more expanded event than just, the mayor and Santa and flipping the lights on the
And then
tree.
but when does
Yeah.
that actually happen?
I'm
What
s-
time?
Yeah, Saturday, December 4th. So the candy cane hunt's going to be 3:30. I'm thinking traditionally it's been done 5:30.
Okay,
The lights go on the tree.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
great.
sounds good.
And we'll build up to that.
Build up to the grand finale.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that's right.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right then. So if we're good, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All right, I'll
Don't all
motion
jump.
to adjourn. Yeah, who wants to get out of here? I motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you. All in favor of adjourning until next month, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that's a wrap. We'll see you next month.